Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over a recent NBC News article going over Florida Representative Republican Byron Donalds as he makes moves ahead of his expected 2026 Florida gubernatorial bid. The Republican congressman has told donors and other Florida political players he is running to replace Governor Ron DeSantis, who will be term limited in 2026, according to reports. Representative Byron Donalds has been telling potential donors and Florida's critical players that he is running for governor in 2026, the clearest signal yet that his much expected bid is moving forward. Donalds, who represents Southwest Florida, has long been rumored to be considering a campaign to replace term-limited Governor Ron DeSantis. But those rumors have ramped up in recent days. Last weekend at a state Republican Party meeting in Orlando, Donalds sponsored a hospitality suite and told people he is running. In the past week, he has sent an even clearer sign of his intentions in a series of meetings with key lobbyists and political donors. The account of Donald's preparations come from 5 sources familiar with the meetings and his thinking. He was in town, Tallahassee, the capital of Florida, meeting with all the folks you need to meet with. He told them he is in. A source who met with Donald said, "It's the steps any candidate takes as they prepare to run for governor." Donalds told NBC News, "I'm fully focused on helping President Trump pass his America First agenda. Florida will proudly lead the way." The Republican field to replace DeSantis was once seen to be as big as 5 or 6 candidates, but with State Chief Financial Officer Jimmy Patronis running for Congress and State Attorney General Ashley Moody now being, the article's a few days old, but now being the Senate appointment to fill the seat of Marco Rubio, President-elect Trump's choice for Secretary of State, the field has considerably narrowed. The 2 most prominent Republican names now considered to be running are Donald and State Agriculture Commission Wilton Simpson, who was previously the president of the state Senate. Former U.S. Representative Matt Gaetz, who recently took a job as an anchor on the conservative TV network OAN, has also publicly signaled that he is considering a run, which was first reported by the Tampa Bay Times. Quote, "Florida needs a governor who can break the control insurance companies have over Tallahassee. I can do that, so it's something Ginger and I are considering," Gaetz said in a message to NBC News. Simpson's team did not respond to a request for comments. Donalds is considered to be a close ally of Trump and a mainstay on cable news channels, giving him a high profile and ability to raise significant out-of-state money. Simpson, however, is also a long-term veteran of Florida politics, with $30 million already in the bank, making him a formidable potential candidate. The forthcoming nationally watched Republican primary for governor will almost certainly hinge on one thing: President Trump. Florida, where Trump resides, is now a solidly red state after years of Republican domination. Trump won it by nearly 15 points in 2024, and he is seen as the biggest kingmaker in Florida politics, including its coming midterm race for governor. Simpson has a long relationship with Trump's incoming White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, as does Byron Donalds. Donalds is viewed as having a closer direct relationship with Trump after having served as one of his most vocal 2024 allies and closest congressional confidants. In addition, Donalds has hired one of his top Florida advisors, Ryan Smith, a former business partner with James Blair, the political director of Trump's 2024 campaign, who will now serve as a top administration official. Along with Smith, Donalds is working with Brad Harold, a veteran of Florida Republican politics, who was one of the top early advisors for DeSantis when he made his underdog bid for governor in 2018. Donalds also hired Tony Fabrizio, who was a top Trump pollster, and fundraiser Megan McKinley, who has worked for Rubio and Senator Todd Young of Indiana, and former chair of the National Republican Senatorial Committee. While the field is narrow, DeSantis himself is seen as a potential wildcard here. He was once so close with Donalds that Donalds introduced DeSantis and his family at his re-election night party in 2022. The 2 of them have had a swift falling out, however, after Donalds backed Trump in the GOP presidential primary for 2024. DeSantis has never been close with Simpson, making it unlikely that he would endorse him. To find a candidate he could formally back, 2 people are familiar with his thinking, said DeSantis could appoint Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez to become president of Florida International University, her alma mater, and her replacement will be viewed as DeSantis' preferred pick to run for governor to replace him. There is no yet a short list for who could be in line for that position. There is no set timeline for Donalds or any other candidate would they make their bids official. There are concerns about his leaving Congress too soon, with Republicans holding a slim majority in the House. The timeline for any announcement could hinge, in part, on the conclusion of 2 special congressional elections in Florida necessitated by Gates' resignation from the House and Trump selecting Representative Mike Waltz to be his national security advisor. Petronas and State Rep Randy Fine, respectively, are heavily favored in the races for those seats, which are lean Republican. Okay, so that's a lot of information, but for the purposes of this video, all eyes are on the 2026 Florida governor election, where Byron Donalds, the U.S. representative from Florida's 19th district, has officially expressed interest in running for this race, as has Matt Gaetz, the former U.S. representative of Florida's 1st congressional district, Ashton Hayward, former mayor of Pensacola, Florida, Francis Suarez, the current mayor of the city of Miami, of course one of the largest cities in the state. There is potential that Senate replacement Ashley Moody, she's been appointed as senator. She could still potentially run for governor, but I would all but rule this out and say she's more likely to run for re-election as senator than she would be to run for governor, so I think you can rule her out. Jeanette Nunez, lieutenant governor of Florida, she would certainly be in consideration, as will Wilton Simpson, who the article discussed in length. As a Florida commissioner of agriculture, he will likely be involved as well. So this is very interesting. And it seems to be, right now, barring some sort of setup, there may be 5 to 6 candidates running. I think Byron Donalds starts out as the highest name recognition leading candidate, right neck and neck with Matt Gaetz. And it will be a very interesting primary to say the least, as if Gaetz does run and Donalds, you very well may have 2 or 3 really loyal to the president MAGA candidates going at it, which will make for a very competitive Republican primary. On the Democratic side of things, the Democrats have been getting hit really hard in the state of Florida, like it said in the most recent election in 2024. When you look at the state of Florida, Donald Trump did just win this state by over 13 points. Rick Scott did the same thing in the Senate elections, where Scott won the state by about 13 points. So it's almost a guarantee that the governor's race will also be a Republican win come 2026. There's not really much of a doubt there. But whoever the Democrats nominate, it will still likely be a Republican win. So the Republican primary is likely going to be where more of the contention is going to reside, and this is where things really get interesting. Donalds is going to start off with a big percentage of the MAGA pro-Trump wing. Matt Gaetz, if he runs in this race, will also cut in to a lot of those voters as well. And then you get into maybe Ashton Hayward, Francis Suarez, Jeanette Nunez, and Wilton Simpson battling for a mix of the DeSantis support and trying to pick away some of the Trump support. So it's a really interesting conversation for how this race will go. As for the history of governor elections in Florida, back in 2022, Governor Ron DeSantis won this election against former Democratic Governor Charlie Crist, 19.4% margin of victory, 59.37% to 39.97%. So Florida went for the Republican in a safe Republican margin back in 2022. In 2018, Ron DeSantis did win a very close election when Florida was a lot more competitive against Democrat Andrew Gillum. I'd be shocked if we saw anything even close to this in 2026. For the sake of argument, that was 2018. We can go to 2014, where Rick Scott nearly won re-election against Charlie Crist. We saw Crist run again in 2022. This era of Florida politics is all but over. A 19-point Republican win is looking more likely for 26 than a 1-point win for the Republicans. But this article really all focuses on Byron Donalds and his prospects of running, and now it seems like he's 100% going to run for Florida governor in 2026, and what could be a very entertaining, interesting, and expensive Republican governor primary. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give the video a like, click subscribe, share with your friends and family, tap the bell icon to get notified when I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you in a future video. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day, so I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.